I'm James Amaro with the Amaro Law Firm in Houston, Texas. I founded the law firm in 2005. We handle catastrophic injury cases.
My name is Anna McMullen. I am at the Amaro Law Firm in Houston, Texas. I have been here since 2018 and I'm a trial lawyer.
What happened in this case is our client had unbuckled a seat belt in the back seat. He was sitting on the passenger side of the car. He was just grabbing a toy off the floorboard, is what we learned later from his older brother, who was 7 at the time.
A driver of a commercial vehicle was actually using his cell phone and was distracted and blew through a stop sign.
That's when the vehicle broadsided him. The F-350 broadsided their small vehicle right when he was reaching down to grab this toy. He had multiple injuries to his spine and to his leg, and of course, visual injuries also that were hard to explain to a jury without actually showing them what happened. Somehow the seat belt wrapped around his neck and caused a very catastrophic injury to his neck.
We always try to keep our goals aligned with what the client's goals are. And what the clients really wanted in this case was for someone to be held accountable. So that was the #1 goal in this case, is just really finding out where the liability was and how we could hold the parties accountable for it. The defenses that were brought in this case were not unexpected. We did find out fairly early on that the seatbelt that our minor plaintiff was wearing in the back seat was not buckled. So we knew that there was always going to be the defense that they were going to try to blame the mom. And then the second biggest hurdle was that these injuries were very unusual that this, 6-year-old child sustained. And how are we going to show that these injuries were, definitively caused by this specific car wreck and for this specific reason? And so that was the second biggest hurdle, was just explaining what the injuries were and why the death happened.
And it was unknown how he had the seat belt around his body at the time of the incident. It was a very unique injury that he had, and this was one of the reasons that we went to DK Global, because it was very hard to explain how he had these injuries from unbuckling a seat belt. We hired DK Global to do the animations of the injuries. In a case like this involving a young boy, we're very sensitive to showing photos or autopsies of a young boy that are real.
The neck injury was a transection of the trachea and the esophagus, which led to a traumatic brain injury. And so what DK did is they helped illustrate not only the fractures in the neck, but also the transection of those very important windpipes and food pipe in the throat to show just how severe the injuries were, and then helped attribute those injuries to the brain injury. There was a mediation that happened where we didn't get anywhere close to a resolution, and then there was a lot more work that was done after. We had a second mediation and then continued negotiation thereafter.
We can say that the case resolved after the second mediation, I want to say weeks or months after that, for right under $9.1 million.
Working with DK Global was really easy. It was very smooth.
When you have multiple injuries on a person like we did in this case, it helps to have that visual there, because people are going to daydream, in the middle of jury.
The value of the case can be really, really assisted by the use of these visuals. I think that the visuals are a very powerful tool and very powerful in front of the jury.